We interrupt your evening to bring you an urgent news bulletin. And welcome back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast downstairs. I got to leave you hanging, you know? I got to really take my time with this one because apparently you got to give people something to sink their teeth into, you know? Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast downstairs. We're just three nerds that really like horror movies. We got a lot to say about that. But first, we're gonna go around the table and introduce ourselves. Is this thing on? Let me address the TV audiences. This isn't the Republicans versus the Democrats. Whether we're in another hole economically or another war, this is more crucial than that. This is down to the line, folks. This is down to the line. There can be no more divisions among the living. People are crazy. If they just get organized, I can't believe that they let it get this bad. If people just listened, we have to remain logical. We must remain rational. It's that or the end. And I'm glad.
I'm so glad you didn't pick the quote I have.
Yeah.
I am just here to enjoy a very long mall sequence that commentates is a commentary on consumerism and nihilism and nothingness when having everything, and to tell you that when there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Dummies! Dummies! Dummies!
And I'm Claudio.
So I've decided to go with, when there's no more room left in the basement, the podcasters will record their hot takes.
Yeah.
It's worse than the living. But, hi, everyone. I'm Joe.
If you haven't figured it out, we're going to be talking about Dawn of the Dead today. This is going to be another entry in our SLASHICS series. So we're going to be taking a look at 1978's Dawn of the Dead, a Romero classic, and comparing it to 2004?
Yep.
2004's remake. And there's some division between these two.
You were alluding to that earlier, where I felt like this was always. So I mean, I liked the remake from the jump, and so I was, I don't know, like 18 or whatever at the time. So, like, I wasn't fully up on like criticism or like media PR type imagery and narratives and that kind of. So like I just. I was just a sweet young summer child, and so like I just liked what I liked, amazingly.
I was in the same boat where I was remake first, and I was like, it's cool, but then watching the OG, and then going back to it, I'm like, I have a more grounded appreciation of both.
I love them both. I came to the original late, but I also just had no idea anyone was not... I always thought that the remake was received relatively warmly. Is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
Like I never heard much from folks being like, "Fuck that," or it didn't get panned in the same way that like a lot of remakes of the time did.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like I came to it with like because I had seen the original first, and with watching like the remake, it was like I kind of came to it with like the understanding that a handful of like purists. Like Romero purists and like zombie purists are like, what is this? This is not the same. It's a remake. It's completely different though. Like you're not doing this movie justice. And so I initially had like that like, ugh, Zack Snyder bad kind of thing in my head about it. And I was just like, all right, it's fun. It's a fun movie, but like coming around to it, I was like, I had my preconceived notions from other people, and now it's like having rewatched both of them, I'm like, oh boy, what have I done to myself?
Well, while we're kind of just like not, I mean, we're just getting started, and of course, you know, we'll do our usual thing of, you know, going around engaging with the first one and that kind of taking through, and then we'll do the same with the remake, but just as like opening shot type thoughts. Yeah, I don't know.
Like opening sequence?
Well, I was gonna say didn't know how early we wanted to mention. Like, of course, not only is it the remake directed by Zack Snyder, who has his career, but the script was adapted, you know, written by James Gunn, who has had his career.
And I did not know that.
And neither did I. Or I probably did and forgot.
I only just found that out with doing my research, genuinely. And it was like, now that I know that it was a James Gunn script, I was like, a lot of stuff makes sense now.
And how hilarious that they've each, you
that
know,
dark comedy that's sitting in it, like beneath the surface on it. I was like, I get it now. It's not just like Zack Snyder jerking himself off in slow motion. It's with like a blue lens. I was like, I get it now. I get it. And it's just, I feel free. I have a weight lifted off of me about it.
It's funny that they have both also like since been, you know, architects or whatever, or like captains, you know, of the like DC cinematic universe, you know, just like another little bit of irony. Who would have thought?
It is funny that they ended up getting tied together like that later on.
That's
like
fun.
It's an interesting thing. How did you guys come across this though? Like, you guys both saw the remake first, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember like when you first saw it?
I definitely, like, again, because I was when I was younger, and I'm still a scaredy cat, but I was a real scaredy cat. So the thought of running.
I've seen your Resident Evil streams. Yes.
Shut the fuck up. So the idea of running zombies definitely was like,
hated it.
Hated it. But like there were certain things
Certainly.
that definitely, like, you know, were kept visceral in my mind. Like the openings, both opening sequences are bonkers.
Yeah,
but like that one,
that's cinema on
sticks
both
with
of them.
me.
Yeah,
the just the mall being its own entity stuck with me. The scene with the truck going through the mob, like iconic shots that just like, wow, this was like wild.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those, like, this movie's, it's been around since like 2004.
I feel like it was like an MTV or something like that. It was definitely on like a TV network.
Everybody of a, like
the
that
same
generation
thing with Friday the 13th.
knows
It's like,
that
you know,
intro.
the late night movie, like, you know, Friday night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's probably where I realistically have experienced it.
Okay, yeah, and it's like, because it's like you said, it's one of those movies that's just like, it was kind of on everything for a really long time, and it's like, I feel like whether you're into horror or not, it's like that intro is like, you've seen it, you know it, it sticks with you.
Okay, and it's 2 years older than 28 Days Later, because I was thinking like, what was the first like like when I think of running zombies, like the Rage Virus zombies of 28 Days Later,
Yeah. So I think a big part, I do vaguely remember, like at the time, hearing the criticisms, maybe from purists, kind of complaining about the fast zombie thing, and that's what I was.
I still have feelings about the fast zombies, but yeah.
I remember as part of that, like, you know, ongoing conversation, like this was as much a remake of, you know, the original Romero sequel as much as it is just like a, oh shoot, this is a post 28 Days Later movie. Like, you know, it's like, it's a clear, you know, just
trend is
taking the ball and kind of running with it, because it was really like 28 Days, this, and Shaun of the Dead that I feel like were like the three like top tier kind of like 2000 zombie movies that were like, oh, this is gonna be a thing now.
Just
for
gonna put it
20
out
more
there.
years.
Shaun of the Dead, slow zombies. Just putting it out there.
But I just mean like zombie content that at the time was like making sure studios were like, okay, we can just try our best on zombies now for the next couple decades.
And this really did kick off like 28 Days definitely had something to do with it, I feel like, but this more so, I feel like, really kicked off the zombie fever of like the early 2000s. Like there was so much
I would argue it was like
zombie
very much both.
everything.
Oh, for sure.
And it was like, we got so many movies out of that.
When was the first like rom-com-y zombie? Like,
it wasn't Warm Bodies.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Which was
more
what, 2013? I'm thinking because
Yeah.
when was like Life After Beth with Aubrey Plaza? Also,
Yeah, that one.
That's a year after Warm Bodies, 2014.
14. Okay, so that's when it's like maybe I'm just jumping ahead too much. But anyway, like there were just a ton, of zombie movies.
Yeah.
A lot of experimenting with
2000s
like
onward.
zombie plus blank.
Well,
zombie.
and let us not forget Resident Evil was also happening at the same time. So like, it was very much in the But I'm trying to think though, were there any other? Am I forgetting any other notables or franchises?
I think
of
with
that
having
moment?
like the rom-com aspect of it, like I feel like
that was, I guess, more of a teens thing. But
I feel like it's more of a teen.
Just trying to think more of though of like the other
like,
zombie movies that came in the wake.
iZombie, which is TV series.
Okay,
That was
but
20,
no, still,
that was
that's-
2015.
We're allowed to talk about TV a little bit.
Yeah, they're all in like it looks like obviously the trend of zombie
Which
rom-com.
itself felt very like post Veronica Mars, which had nothing to do with nothing. More the noir detective.
It also kind
End of it.
of had the vibe of like, what was that, the TV show? I think it was on like Stars or something like that. It was like where the lady was like the Grim Reaper or something like that. There was like a TV show like that. That's kind of the
Dead
vibe.
Like Me?
Dead Like Me. That's Showtime.
yeah,
Showtime.
yeah.
That's it.
Oh God, what a great
Yeah.
show. That was more Grim Reaper-y
Yeah.
business as that always made me think more of like 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
Not supernatural at all, but it's fun to spiral out.
It is kind of like
Just made so many
supernatural if you think about it.
But like,
the
but really,
magical realism.
it's cool how like zombies are like something that just will infinitely like either come back to itself or innovate itself in a different direction.
Yeah.
I mean,
Audio,
we
you
would.
sexy segue king. Yeah, way to bring it to a more. No, you're right because this is such a classic. Like,
Are we shambling on to the next thing?
Well, no, I was just gonna point out that even though this is kind of a loose slashic because we're we enjoy doing remakes in 2000 or rather originals in 2000 remakes comparisons. This isn't necessarily a slasher, but it is a zombie flick. It's its own subgenre. And itself,
It is a
its own
classic.
huge iconic, figure, blah blah blah, and so just fun to do that. It does kind of have somewhat of the slasher or of the slasher quality in the like Agatha Christie of it all, and then there were none type situation.
Okay,
Just of the
yeah.
people are getting picked off. You're like getting to know folks, and then you're watching them, be dearly departed.
Yeah.
Right. So and that's a very loose definition, but it is. I feel like not. I don't know. They can kind of overlap.
Yeah, I do think that it's a really cool playground to be able to kind of exist within. Is like you have very specific rules when it comes to zombies as to like how you can do it, and it's like okay, yeah, there's a flow chart that you can go down. Like, do you want fast or slow? Okay, cool.
How do you want How do you want it to start?
Yeah, how do you want the infection to spread? And then you can just kind of build a world within that.
I will say so.
It's a sandbox.
Not only we're gonna stick to the Dawns.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, the Dawns. So like the middle, of the trilogies. But I thought we were doing Day for this one the last couple weeks. The Day of the Dead's movies, the third in the respective trilogies, which the remakes aren't even a trilogy. But
Day is one of my favorite movies.
I was gonna say, I know we're gonna jump around a little bit throughout
the
at
originals.
least the original franchise, and just giving Romero all his credit because they're all such like seminal movies, his original trilogy, and really deserve to be looked at and recognized. But I again, as we're saying, I've always loved the 2004 remake. That's kind of where I zoned in for me, and then I eventually made my way through the originals. But rewatching Night of the Living Dead more recently, I totally forgot that the two lines barely. Well, no, actually, there's a little bit more than that, like the radio reports, but the little bit of explanation for the undead rising in the original is if I remember correctly, like a Venus radiation cosmic space origin thing, and that's super cool if you want to take it cosmic.
It was very Plan 9 from outer
But it
space
felt
type
more
of deal.
that. Yeah, very
It was,
much.
You could definitely see he was wearing his his Ed Wood hat that day. It was oh no, I like gimmicky old heart B horrors.
That's cool too. But I completely had forgotten that, and we're so used to bioweaponry or the more vague when there's no more room left in hell, which I love that.
Are they supernatural?
But so it's supernatural,
Yeah.
spiritual, occulty, whatever. Space is a whole other story, and I just did not remember that in the 1965 original.
And that's such one of the cool things about zombies is that you can do that, and you can be
it
all right,
fits too.
yeah, you want to do space zombies. It's its own thing. It's fucking what is it? What's the game? Dead Space.
Oh.
Yeah. Space zombies.
Space zombies.
Yes.
Like you could play with it any number of ways, and it's like it's
Being reanimated by nanobots. Like, I honestly love the cheats because it's interesting where you can, deliver the same results from a whole other whatever. I think genre folks appreciate that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, you want toxic ooze or like acid rain that makes them.
There you go. Boom. So lots of fun ways to come to it.
Yeah.
We're real perennialists when it comes to the undead.
Yeah.
Or rather, the reanimated.
You stick them in the ground, they come back up every year.
Really quick, I just also, not remakes, but I also in recent years just watched what is the fun camp 80s movie with but it's an H.P. Lovecraft or the Reanimator.
Yeah, Reanimator's fun.
Just a twist on reanimating corpses. But like, man, what an amazing movie that is.
That movie's so weird, and I love it
so much.
I love it so much. We'll talk about that one on another day for sure. I love Reanimator.
But yeah, so you came to the original first.
Yes.
We were remakes first. I caught it, I think, probably like on my, freshman roommate's computer desktop, dating myself, and just kind of, zoning out and enjoying it, in the middle of the night. But shout out to my boy Nick.
I was 100% that kid at college. I was like, I had so many. Not bootlegged. They were not bootlegged. I paid full price for them.
I don't know how common this was, so I'm just gonna mention because we had like a campus server. So there were eventually we identified the folks that had like terabytes worth of stuff, and they just became the head honchos. It was very interesting. AV hierarchy on campus.
Like I would be post up in my dorm, and I just I had so many movies loaded onto my laptop, and I was just like,
see, we had
y'all want to watch a movie, and it's like, well, I've never watched Dawn of the Dead, and I was like, you never watched Dawn of the Dead, so it's like I would put on the 1974, and they would be like, why is this taking so long? And I'm like, it's great, isn't it?
God.
And they're like, nothing's happening. And I'm like, I know!
That was when we get
it's commentary!
When we get to the first one. Yeah, exactly. It's commentary. But I was like, oh, now they're at the mall.
Yeah.
Got it.
No,
OGs.
I tortured people with that shit back in the day because I was just
I think I'm looking at my notes. I'll double check when we get there, but I think it's 90 minutes before you get to the let's do a shopping montage. You've been in the mall for 40 minutes, sir. How have you not already?
Yeah, right.
And then it makes sense that they were building the archetypes. We're reacting to it being already in the
we're
mix,
been
right?
there, saw that, we want to, but
And I wasn't, to be fair, I was not among those that was impatient for it. I was just kind of shocked that it took we're only pretty deep into Act 2 before we got that fun montage.
But it's important to notate that because I know we've said many a times on the previous recordings of SLASHICS is people groan about these things no, this is where it started. For us to be oh man, we already know, give it the appreciation that this is one of the pillars.
This is the forefather to the thing
we wouldn't have 04 without 78.
I think most of the originals we've looked at aren't generally looked at as boring slow. Even the original Night of the Living Dead.
I don't know. You guys had some choice things to say about Friday the 13th one. Y'all were like, this is slow.
Fair. Yeah. And I'll say it again.
Well then,
damn it, Pamela.
Well, and refresh my memory. Who directed that one?
OG Friday?
Yeah, exactly. But we do know George A. Romero's name, don't we? You know
yes,
what I'm
we
saying?
do.
So
his undead body of work is incredible.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to say that I think that
you leave
all of
Sean Cunningham out of this.
All due respect, Mr. Cunningham, no shade, just trying to make a point. But
and his wife Oprah Cunningham.
These original trilogies, because I haven't seen Romero's other movies. I haven't even seen the new trilogy of his latter day.
Yeah.
Movies.
I mean, it definitely gives me motivation to want
to.
For
the record for the fans, Diary, Survival, and
Land.
I didn't know order,
yes.
But no, I'm just saying,
I didn't love him.
I know.
Do you like John Leguizamo?
I do.
then you
Love-
might actually
And
like Land.
I've seen pieces. I've seen pieces
Yeah.
and chunks, whatever. But I was just trying to say that the original Dawn of the Dead, I think, is a great movie. Like, it is like 4 stars. Like, well, you know, it's a little oddly structured, maybe, but like I was down with the pacing and whatever. I'm a fan, and so whoever was bitching and would just forget, you know, I got words for that.
Wait, when you did your rewatches, because I know you said that you watched like basically the original trilogy and then the original trilogy's remakes. Did you watch Night 90?
That's the only one I did not get my hands on. It's not streaming anywhere that I
Oh,
have access.
Joe, when you watch that,
And I know that's the one you hold in the highest regard. So I'm very much looking forward.
Night 90 is fantastic
Well,
because it's
everyone-
literally 1-to-1. It is
Well,
the same fucking movie.
And for those unfamiliar, directed by whom? Who is going to be discussed throughout this whole
Yeah, this
episode.
this one's gonna be. This is for Jim. Tom Savini.
And with Tony Todd.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Savini directs the remake of the original Night of the Living Dead in 1990.
Yep.
And he was also one of the featured. Which one did he first appear in? Dawn, or he wasn't in Night?
He was
was
in
Dawn.
Dawn.
Right.
Yeah, he was in Dawn. I don't think he was in Night.
No,
but
he
he
was in
did.
Dawn and
he
Day,
did do
right?
all of the special effects makeup.
Yeah,
Is he
he
a scientist in Day?
did.
Huh?
Is he not a scientist in Day?
No.
Okay, never mind.
In Day, I think he is one of the Horde. He is a zombie.
Oh, well,
in
okay,
that one,
but
I
still in the mix.
Yeah.
And doing makeup, right? In the
Yeah.
third. But then he does reappear in Dawn
Yep.
remake.
Yes, he does.
And then
Correct.
is he in any...
You know who else who shows up in Dawn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original... Well, and I forget the actor and
Ken
character's
Foray.
name. Okay, yes.
Yep.
He's the one doing the line of the TV evangelist, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Which just, I mean... Puts the remake even like just a couple extra notches from that one line that he like. I hope it took him 10 minutes to do that take, and I
Yeah.
hope he made a bunch of money from it. Like,
He literally sat
awesome.
down in his home and just recorded it.
Right.
But no,
Like, that's what it needed.
But he did a great job.
Yeah,
Like, it's fantastic.
It just needed to be handheld camera on a man. That's
also
all it needed to be.
So powerful for like 6 seconds or whatever.
Yes.
Of just saying that one line.
Yeah, and it's so funny too because like those 2 cameos appear almost back to back because it's like while they still have their what do you call it while they still have cable basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Savini is like a sheriff, you know, a local sheriff, kind of taking down some zombies somewhere on the news. But yeah, so a lot of fun connections between the original and the remakes. And the originals are held in the highest regard. You know, Romero kind of, you know, birthing the modern, you know, at least American cinematic zombie. I know, like, you know, Giallo, Fulci folks would, of course, be making their contributions, you know,
Oh
from
yeah,
European shores.
We wouldn't have any of those like.
And there's long traditions, of course, of the undead, but, like, you know, I feel like when you're getting into, like, Asian cinema, at least from my experience in, like, Japanese, Korean, and some Chinese, like, wuxia and stuff as well, like, it's you know, I feel like the line between, like, corporeal specters, you know what I mean,
Yes.
and then more ethereal spirits, like, it's kind of a
Oh my God,
much wavier line,
Yes.
appropriately.
Yeah.
I
in
especially
Asian,
love, like, the-
Eastern cinema.
like I think it's technically a type of vampire.
Oh,
that they've done it
yeah.
where the head like comes off the body and
I
floats around and bites people. That shit's crazy.
Asian folklore is so cool.
It's so cool.
And movies that have come out of like if we get to a point where we're just doing like early Japanese like 50s and 60s horror, like Kwaidan and you know all what, I'm gonna screw up the pronunciation, but not Obi Baba, but Onibaba.
Yeah.
I know which one.
Whatever. Like I just they're very very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would happily do those. But that's neat. But that's kind of like I feel like very much its own thing. Whereas you can kind of see the undead and demons too a little bit more clearly aligned with like the the zombies in British and American movies from what I've seen.
Absolutely. And it's like especially like zombie is like one of my Fulci zombie is like one of like we're here now.
Yeah.
We've adapted again. It's like it's just really cool.
Fun fact, right? From like zombie isn't even mentioned in Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
Nope.
I don't know. I couldn't remember Day of the Dead. If they actually
No.
say the word,
No.
though, right?
They say infected.
Yeah.
And I don't think we hear it in at least the remake
I
of
don't
Dawn.
even think they say infected.
No,
Which I just think
someone I believe it's someone is infected, or like, because there are people that were like bit.
Oh yeah. That's because that's how it spreads. That's how they.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do phrase it as infected. I was like, I couldn't remember if it was like they just call them they and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like, are there any more of them out there?
And I always
Which
think
Shaun
of
of the Dead famously makes fun of. It's like, are there any more of them out there? What? Zombies. It's like, don't say that.
the Z word.
We're not using the Z word.
Which like I always remembered as like trivia from the originals, but like it really did set a precedent because now I'm trying to think. I guess
What was the
unless,
first instance of?
Well, because I guess unless it was like a more like self-referential kind of TV quirky take, they really don't kind of use the word zombie very often.
No,
I feel like.
I think
Just even in general,
zombie
just in
only
general.
ever comes around like it only ever really kicked off. I want to say around Serpent and the Rainbow.
Which I still haven't seen.
And you would love that.
No, I know it's on my list because who directed that one? It's like a name. It's like on my list.
Carpenter? I think it was Carpenter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be something that would make sense.
Was it?
I'm just
You were like nodding, and I'm like, did I get it?
I'm like
Yeah.
Carpenter.
All right, so if
Do you guys want to jump in on
78?
78? All right.
78.
So having come from the remake first and being a little, again, like not actually impatient, but just out of my affection for the remake, I was like, I can't wait till we get to them all. I can't wait until we are having fun montages. I can't wait until we're seeing, the original metaphors for, consumerism as the undead, consuming flesh, consuming, plastic. And
Mindlessly,
necessary-
yes.
Right, all that
Yes.
stuff. The line about, because even, again, as like a late teenager seeing the remake, like all those metaphors were like, fire in my
I
little
like that
punk
they tied
fan
that.
brain. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I
So,
like they tied that through to 04 as well.
And that theme, I
That's
think,
something
is
I was
very-
happy about because
Why are they here?
hashtag
Why did they come back?
horror
must
is
have been
political.
Must have been important to them at the time.
Yeah.
Horror is political. And like a lot of times when we've talked about like OG to remake, it's like, oh, they missed this spot. Or like I think specifically Texas Chainsaw, where they take certain things and just it shifts what the original commentary was.
Yeah.
And like to see the OG, I'm like, okay, like I can see the translations of where they didn't do it one for one, but they said, okay, this message, we're gonna pluck it and pull it to here. This one, we're gonna grab it and bring it right here.
Yeah.
That's why where purists, I do like kind of vaguely remember like, criticisms being like, oh, they're fast, they're just doing the new fast thing, and like, oh, it's not like the whatever that I'm used to.
Yeah.
And like I was very dismissive of that as a young person because I was just like, yeah, but like the brains are still there.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Like the themes are still there. And like I'm sorry if it wasn't the same like makeup techniques, but like we don't want to just necessarily do the same thing
Yeah.
again. And the fact that they were still, drawing those connections between like, for those again who don't know, like it's very intentionally set at them all. To recognize like again the parallels between like the zombies consuming flesh and the mindlessness and the autopilot of it all as consumers just mindlessly kind of shop but also like vote with their dollar unconsciously. And I feel like this is also tying into like what is the movie that I still haven't seen where they have that like 8-minute alley fight with the aliens and the obey and the shades and whatever.
They live.
They live. Thank you. I
Yeah.
was gonna call it they, and I'm like, that's a different movie about giant ants.
Yeah. That was them.
My dad will appreciate you. But no, just like in the
I spent
in the,
so long watching old B horror movies back in the day, dude. I love that shit.
the socio-political commentary that
Yeah.
Claudio has mentioned. Just
For sure.
Well, and then we also got that really good hit of like the opening sequence of George Romero being like, "Hey, you want to talk about police violence? You want to talk about police state and racism and fundamentally, like it's fundamentally ingrained in the nature and the DNA of the police and the SWAT team."
I was very excited when they opened in like the newsroom, and I thought they were gonna do more with like smushing together, 2 journalists and 2 SWAT people. And I kind of honestly didn't really do much with it.
No, we got Flyboy, and I'm pissed off about it.
You call him Flyboy too?
Yeah.
I wrote, why is Flyboy just shooting a gun in a room full of big important pipes? I wrote that in all caps. I hate this man.
Just
Why
as
is he doing
many
it?
bullets as he can, and he hits none of them. Do not give me. Oh no.
He's called Flyboy,
Sorry,
not
we're-
Shoot Man.
I do like that they call her Fly Girl too.
But no, she was awesome.
They call her Fly Girl, and I'm like,
She was
she's
awesome.
a backup dancer.
Yeah.
And then our 2 SWAT guys, like we're all, we're very ACAB folks here, but like,
You know what's terrible is I can't remember either of their names.
I know. Well,
Trooper.
No, is Roper? No,
Roger.
I'm thinking of a person.
Yeah, it was Roger and something, right?
Roger.
Roger and Steven.
Steven.
We are never folks to ever put cops on a pedestal beyond like our like Noir-y kind of.
Don't let my True Detective shirt.
Yeah. Exactly. Which is the best shirt out of any of us have ever worn here.
See, there was a tie-in. There was a tie-in.
No, but no,
Like
the two journalists, like one of them's a dope, but like at least he can fly the chopper.
That's all he does. He's not a reporter. He only just flies the helicopter for the station.
But he came from that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like they opened on the newsroom. He was, her and him, whatever, the blonde lady and that dopey flyboy. They came from like the journalism world, right? But like they're not. It doesn't really come into play. And one of them's kind of a dope. And then the two other like
Peter
main
and Roger.
core 4 cast members are the SWAT members, but they are like only one of them is like I feel like the blonde is like kind of your typical like leader, like Captain America guy, but then I forget the other guy's name.
Actual name or his
Doesn't
character?
matter.
Ken Forey,
Character.
yeah.
Ken Forey. Peter, thank you. Because I also have in my notes, when Peter just picks up a zombie and throws him over a barricade, I cackled.
Dude, he just
Awesome. Oh, I'm out of bullets. No problem.
Dude, when he started chucking people off balconies and that, I was like, yes, I love this.
Well, like, correct me if I'm wrong, or I think I remember, wasn't he kind of like off to the side during that opening like mission that the cops are busting
Essentially,
up
yeah. He was there, but he was not main.
That's what I'm saying. He was very much
He
like,
wasn't in
fuck
the
this,
shootout.
and
He wasn't in the-
He left the shootout. He was very much not part of the insane violence of like, what are they even doing? Just clearing out a tenement building?
Yeah, so the setup for it was like there was a gang of some sort that was in that tenement building, but the inherent racism of the SWAT team members, not our two titular characters, but the rest of them, they just started shooting people.
And I couldn't tell.
Indiscriminately.
Because it seemed as it was like, okay, onset of zombie apocalypse is happening, people are panicking, and also in the midst of that panic, cops are just taking advantage of an opportunity to, just unleash violence upon non-white communities in impoverished neighborhoods. And it was just like, for no other reason.
They made it so clear, like it was so clear cut as to what he was trying to say about that by holding the camera on that one very racist man and just letting him go for like 2 minutes. And it's just like,
blood, like pure adrenaline or meth? Like what?
he was like, let's go!
Doesn't he also get like shot and like gets back up and like keeps going? I was like, why is he like RoboCop? Or like,
I also like that they
it's insane.
They baited you with who you thought was going to be one of the characters going to the mall, and it was like the scared cop guy.
Yep.
And then he dies immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I think it's pretty clear. Maybe it is, and maybe it's been written about like dozens and millions of times. But like, I was a little like, this is a little jaunting and jarry we're cutting from that insanity to like, also though, in the country, good old boys are having a party, drinking beers and playing music while they pick off the undead in the field.
You can't help but laugh at that.
Fun fact.
And it was hilarious. Like, it was very much like,
That was the same field from Night.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's the same house, it's the same field.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But like they were cutting back and forth between those a little bit. I feel like in the beginning, as we were still kind of like gathering set dressing and like pulling characters and setting everything up.
We're seeing the decline of human civilization, essentially.
Absolutely. But the tone of it struck. I was like, where are we? What am I? Because like we're still settling into Act 1, and like I don't know. I guess it's just the satire of it all. I was still kind of acclimating to. It came off a little goofier than I was expecting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit more slapstick than I like.
It was definitely giving like the intermission of like, this is your time to soak in everything that just happened.
Yeah.
And I'm not
we met our characters, we saw part of the world. It's like, while they're traveling, we're just gonna kind of show you what the world's like right now, and then we're gonna move to our next spot.
And I won't get into it because we'll get there for the remake, but like this opening, which is pretty long, like in terms of like getting to where the rest of the actions, compared to like the opening literal 13 minutes of the remake.
13 too.
Just from the opening through the credits, like is 13 minutes of the remake, and that is like some of the tightest most awesome 13 minutes that I have
The
ever
steady
seen.
cam work on that was phenomenal.
I'm gonna go off.
Oh, yeah,
when
we'll get
but-
there.
Yeah.
But no, so it does take a minute. But also, one of my favorite parts, or not favorite, but like I thought a very striking part of the original's opening is when Peter, in particular, is it when they're making their way into the, not the mall?
When they make the pit stop, right, to gas up.
Oh, okay, it was a gas station where he gets the
Is it
two,
the-
the two
Yes.
young children?
Yes.
Which I just thought was...
That was bold back in the day.
He kills two kids.
Guns down two children,
Two
and
pretty
they
white blonde children.
and they hold on that for so. You know what's funny? Those two children, niece and nephew of Tom Savini.
Hey, that's awesome again.
Some
See,
fun
we told
fact.
you you'd be
I wrote
proud
that
of
one down. Thanks, Jim.
No, how like incredibly provocative and jarring and just like very like.
Things happen for a reason.
But so when you were watching it for the first time, did you not think immediately of, again in the remake, the little girl?
I did.
I was like, oh, this has got to be.
I was
that
like,
must have
dude,
been a
and that's what I
callback to
mean. Like
this.
they were like, I like this. We're gonna move it over here, and that's one of the ones that I took to it. Was like, okay, yeah, the kids, the infected kids. Mm-hmm. It's not just an adult virus. Kids are infected too.
And I like that they brought that full circle around in the remake as well, because they were like, let's have children. We're gonna put kids
We're gonna
in
start
here.
with the children,
More than once.
and we're gonna
Yeah.
start with something else later.
Yeah, and it's like there's a taste of like, here's the original. It's got that flavor, but ours
Yeah.
is different. It was really cool. But I thought that was like
I
that
definitely
was
was
a
like-
bold thing to do.
Yeah, I like jaw dropped.
And
I
like
was
the
like,
fact
oh.
that he's shooting like head height on a door, and it's like, well, why am I still here? And then the door opens. It's like, oh, we're going completely different direction now. Oh boy.
When we just speaking of Savini, was he doing makeup on this one?
Correct.
He was.
Yes.
Okay. Because like I feel like all the like kill stuff looks great and is awesome and like, but when watching I was like, man, there's a lot of blue face paint going on here.
Yeah.
Blue face paint's doing a lot of work with some of these extras right now.
If I wasn't so tired, I was going to do that for this episode. I was going to give like the Dawn face paint. I couldn't be bothered this morning.
And again, all due respect, not trying to talk shit, but I was just like, oh wow, okay, this is a little Smurfy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Which is funny because it's gray.
And it feels
just-
green at some points,
Well,
and
yeah,
blue and
it
gray
just-
and different hues, and like it's cool.
It's
like,
with
I'm
the
not
lighting,
shitting,
it
it's
just
you know.
changes to such a blue. But I'm sure actually taking that it puts me into a good spot with this. The lighting and everything in this, with the coloration and whatnot, is very, very interesting. Would you be surprised to find out that one of the producers was Argento?
Oh, I noticed that in the
I was
credits.
like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Friends being friends.
Well, wait,
Two
one of my-
producers are Argento.
what was
Dario
it
and
daughter?
Claudio.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'm like, that is so cool.
No, it's very, very cool.
And it's like, all right, well, now I'm seeing where, like, he may not have directed it, but it's, like, definitely, like, rubbed off and was like, hey,
yeah.
look what we're doing.
Well, again,
Yeah.
friends and peers influencing one another. Again,
Yes.
that's why like the community is so cool. But just speaking of the colors, one of my favorite lines that stuck out to me from the original was, "It's so bright and neatly wrapped. Don't you see? It's a prison too." Like, yeah, like there's that
Uh-huh.
whole satire,
Yep.
commentary we're looking for. But I thought that was a very cool way to like pull it off.
Well, it's like, I was telling you guys, like, right before we started, like, my whole intro bit was like, those are lines from this movie.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's like, it is still so current. Like, what?
That's why, again, like when it went kind of silly in the opening, like coming, because like that's the cold open. I'm like, oh shit, this is like, yeah, we're doing like newsroom, hard hitting. Like we're just getting where I haven't even seen a dead body yet. This is awesome.
And then we got good old boys.
We're just seeing the reactions of people whose job it is to react to shit while also maintaining composure. That's one of the most interesting perspectives to take during like a crisis.
Well, and when we cut back to seeing the news reporters, when they're absolutely losing their shit on
Which is
air.
kind of all we get, which is cool. I kind of wish we could have spent more time with that, but I understand that we need to.
Because the majority of
move
what I
everyone.
took is actually from that interview. Is
And they
when
still-
he's losing his fucking mind on TV.
And doing what you and showing what you just described, I think does the same thing. It just kind of does it, kind of a little bit quicker.
Yeah, snappier.
But I'm just,
Oh, but that they wanted to speed up a little bit.
that's what I'm saying. And then they do spend a lot of time just like getting from place to place. But that's it's a zombie movie.
That's
It's cool.
what
I'm not complaining.
It's one of my the downsides of this movie is like as much as I love it, I'll admit like this movie is 2 hours and some change,
2 hours and 22 minutes, I believe.
and you feel it.
I don't.
You
feel
feel it.
No, you're right. You're right.
You feel it.
I think you do.
Is it, what, 140 minutes, right?
126.
Okay, yeah. So,
Is it 146?
126.
Oh, I thought it was longer.
interesting fact, too, the remake, same exact runtime.
No kidding.
And it feels so different.
It does.
That pacing is so split up. It's so strange.
That's what I'm saying. I could never not
This one, like the first one,
praise the remake.
The zombies weren't the only thing moving slow. Like there was a handful of scenes in this movie where it's just people passive aggressively looking at each other,
I will also say,
and they don't speak.
in terms of like zombie engagement in this original, I kind of
It's
loved.
so jokey.
Well, okay, wait. So, any fans of Community out there who have watched the Halloween episodes? I believe
Yes!
is it 2 or 3 that they do the zombie episode? I think it's season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
That they do a zombie episode in Community for Halloween, in which whatever, there's zombies in the school, but throughout our heroes are just like Troy, Donald Glover in particular, just punching zombies left and right. Just really like in his defense, he's got no armor, no nothing but school because he's just like throwing hands and throwing elbows.
I don't even think he was wearing clothes in that. He was
He's got,
like
like,
just wearing.
he's got maybe no shirt on.
Yeah, no, he was
Looking
wearing
great.
like shorts because he wanted to be a sexy vampire.
No. He wanted to be a sexy Dracula. He doesn't need to know which type of Dracula he is. It was a great bit.
Yeah,
anyway, I thought it was so funny watching that, and then I watched this, and I'm like, oh wow, they're also just like cracking them and just like throwing jabs and like really like letting them have it with their right hooks, and like that's taking out the zombies better than headshots. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
that just like
God.
really cracked me up.
When they just start mushing people out of the way and stuff. It's
Again,
like-
though, not a downside.
Are we going to talk about like Moby walking around?
Oh yeah,
The Hare Krishna zombie?
I said Hare Krishna Dean from Community,
Oh my god.
who also is replaced by a Moby impersonator at some point during that show.
That's so funny.
so-
I just thought it was just a very odd, like, because they always have the standout zombies. There's always
Yeah.
like close-up
Fun.
zombies.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Well, in
That-
the remake, they call that back with the celebrity.
That was so
oh,
funny.
God.
Burt Reynolds.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell. He's good.
But all the
No,
silly,
it's too easy. Give him something hard.
all the silly funny has are, I don't even think are a downside, but I was thrown by the thrown by the tone. I was kind of expecting like a way more kind of straightforward, like drama, intense, like this is you
Malice,
America, this is you
grief.
humanity. And there are those
And like Romero loves comedy. Like the fact that like he kind of works that into a lot of stuff where it's like it's very serious, very drama driven, and then it's like we're gonna have a silly little haha moment. We're just gonna goof around a little bit.
I think it's late in the second act, like kind of before they rally for the big finale. There's a moment where Flyboy and what's her name are
Fly girl.
Man.
Fly girl. I think it's at the end of a montage, and the camera is like very slowly pulling back of them like in bed together, like post coitus, but like
It
they're not
looks like
they're not mad at each other, but they're not feeling anything, and like they just look dead eyed. And I think one of them's smoking a cigarette.
I think that's just Flyboy's face.
and
though.
it's just like it's very much his face, but like I feel like it's both of them, and I think
it's a void.
it's meant to be. It looked so painterly and so like a photograph, and just like the slow zoom out, and like that ending the montage of like where they are to get to where they need to be to like kind of say like screw it all, let's go for broke at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But like I thought that was a moment of like that kind of brought me back from all the silly ha-has into like there are
reality.
stakes here. This is
Yeah.
a serious look at
And
like
this
what
is-
humanity is left with when
Yeah.
everything is stripped away and blah 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 whatever.
They're making the best of what they have, but it's still like at the end of the day, what
It doesn't feel fulfilling.
this isn't
because-
home.
And
This
all
isn't
that,
real.
All
Like,
that felt very like clear and crystal, but like it also just felt so much more patchworky in the tone.
Yeah.
Like between those moments and then the comedy bits.
Yeah.
And
like
I was
the juxtaposition between that scene in particular and then when you see her cooking dinner and then like the two guys are sitting down playing cards and it's like everybody's just kind of like they're just living together.
even though she said, "What is the line? I don't want to be hen mother to you."
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that.
She's like she's
Dad,
fixing
mother,
dinner and it's like there was also like the trade-off when it was like they had like fancy dinner the one night and the guys were like serving them and it was like so it's like there's a trade-off and
They
everybody's
do
like
eventually become considerate. And,
they do
and-
work together
yeah,
really
yeah,
well
give
at a
them a date
certain
night.
point, and it was like that was cool. But then you do have those hollow, empty moments of like, well, okay, like it plays off of itself really
Like-
well.
Well, so that stuff to me, Red, is like, okay, well, when you feel dead inside, folks, guess what you need to do? Build community. And, like, go say hello to your neighbor. And, like, it sucks, and I'm not a people person, but, like, I've just come to find in my 40 years.
Are you kidding
like,
me?
that's
We
kinda
live in a
what it is.
basement. Like,
Yeah. Which is
we
why
don't
it's so
go
hard.
out.
But it's like, no, when you reach those genuine existential moments of crisis, like, that's what you do. You find connection with like-minded folks, and you build community, and like that's what leads to better things and better outcomes. And like it's really those are the material conditions that we need to start thinking in terms of. I think.
Can you say that directly into the camera?
I did. I made contact.
But I
All my
absolutely
marks is out
agree. It definitely is one of those moments of like, this is fun, but also it's like that dissociative just like, what are you looking at? And you're just like, nothing.
Which calls back to when Steven? No, Roger.
Which one?
The blonde guy.
Blonde cop.
Trooper?
Captain America, yeah.
Trooper. Got it.
Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Roger,
Steve, yeah.
Steve Rogers, oh my God.
Because his name is Roger.
Call him Rogers from now on.
Steve Rogers, Roger. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
like wine. No, it calls back like that empty, hollow look gets replaced when they change, and it becomes the same look because like especially when he pulls like the sheet off of his head after he dies, it's like he has that same sullen face.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Flyboy turns, same sullen face. And it's like it is really cool because it's like you are kind of just succumbing to for my Saw the TV Glow fans out there, you're succumbing to the melancholy. Like
You're so hot.
Sorry, we mentioned the Argento of it all. Do you guys remember who did the soundtrack?
Michael Gordon? Or no, that's cinematography. Oh shit, I didn't put.
no.
It was the Goblins and Dario Argento.
Oh yeah.
So they did the music.
Some of the most kooky sounded music that they put over some stuff, like it made no sense.
Some of it was like, weirdly, again, like kind of atonal and jarring. Some of it was very much like, well, some of it was playing into the juxtaposition, the contrast of like the mall advertisement, friendly face of it all, contrasted with the death and
So
destruction.
the attentional shopper's voice,
We have a
That was
fresh
a-
sale for you guys.
that was George Romero's wife.
Sure. Love it. No, and that stuff, like, that felt intentional and worked really well. But then other times it just felt like, do you want us to be, like, cracking open a beer laughing? Or, like, kind of contemplating my own mortality? And I can do both in, like, a 10-minute span, but, like, you gotta kind of, help me transition a little bit more.
It's like they're walking around with their guns and they're getting ready to like go, like we gotta get to a point, da-da-da-da-da, and it's like got this jaunty tune over top of it. It's like, what is happening?
Something else I could not stop laughing at every time it was in a shot, because it was just in the background many times. How many of the store fronts did you guys remember?
Not
Off the
really.
top of my head,
any
no.
off the top of my head,
Okay.
no.
Only one is like. You know what, guys? Hopefully soon we can all grab dinner one night at the Brown Derby Steakery Love Pub.
Steakery Love Pub.
That is too many.
Love pub.
That's too many adjectives. Like that's too many names. There's too many nouns.
It's too many nouns.
Brown Derby Steakery. That's where it should end.
Yeah.
But then it is also a love
I don't
pub.
think anything should be called a steakery, honestly.
Steakery sounds more scientific than love pub. I gotta say, I would rather eat at a steakery. I feel like I know what I'm gonna get there. I do not want to eat where
I don't know
love
what I'm going to
pubbing
get there because it sounds
is
like it's
happening.
halfway between a steakhouse and a bakery, and I don't know what I'm getting here.
And also,
we only serve beef Wellington. Like
Brown Derby, like of all the brown gray gravy steakery, please. Like, my God, there just could not have been a more 70s mall restaurant.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in like the food court. It
just
was
there.
a storefront. And it was just in the background of so many shots.
The propaganda, I could really.
What about the
go for a steakery.
comedically large bread that they found at the one point?
Oh my god.
that I love that. Yeah, some of the things that I have written down, just as like little fun things, like it was Romero's wife was the attentional shoppers lady.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the zombies real quick. So cool, the amount of extras that they had to do this.
Oh my God.
Like this was
So
hand over fist, so many more people than they had for night, which is so cool.
the scope is truly impressive.
The extras, they were paid $1. They got $1, a
And
donut.
they were lucky for it.
No, they got $1, a donut, and a Dawn of the Dead shirt.
Hell yeah.
That's all they got. And they were just there for
They
the
got
love of the game.
They got triple D. No.
The miles my father has run for a cool free t-shirt. People will work hard.
yeah,
Good swag.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
True.
I will as well.
And then
We love our good t-shirts.
right. In classic Romero fashion, a handful of the zombies, some of them were real amputees.
That's awesome.
Right on.
Good for them, yeah.
So it's like, if you're trying to go for like, we're saving on budget for costuming and stuff, it's like, all right, well, I have a buddy who doesn't have an arm. Like, what looks more like a zombie? Like, you are missing an arm.
Right.
We just slap some face paint on him. We got it.
Just in addition to like just the scope of it all, the huge like, because there's a lot of like big wide shots in the beginning.
Oh
like
my
they
God,
really
yeah.
like make sure you know how many extras were really like on set and
Oh my
everything.
God,
And it's
yeah.
awesome. It's very cool. And we're so used to it in nowadays. But like 1978, it was like a big deal. I can't remember what I was gonna say. But but the scope of it all. When I was taking notes first watching it, I was like, all right, this is kind of like a kitchen sink approach compared to the Night of the Living Dead, which is so sparse and so like very kind of closely
we
contained
got
and
like
small.
2, maybe 3 filming locations on that one. It's like this one had way more. Both of them filmed entirely in Pittsburgh.
Yes, very clear, very obvious, I think, and I love
Very
that.
Pittsburgh. And I didn't pick up on, like, for so many years of watching this, that the movie actually starts in Philly.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they talk about it, that, like, they're flying out of Philly to get further into the country.
You're right.
And it's like, oh, I never noticed that. I don't think they were actually in Philly, but yeah.
It felt very firmly like Pennsylvania, and that just was, that was nice.
Yeah. And it's like all of these locations are still very much there for now. Like the mall itself.
I was wondering which mall it was.
Yeah, it's
I
the
didn't look it up.
Monroeville Mall.
There you go.
And it still exists. They do Weekend of the Living Dead, I think is what it's
fun.
called.
Oh, that's sick.
We gotta
think
go to that.
this is
Yeah.
I think this is the last year that they're going to
Oh,
do
shoot.
it.
All right.
So then we have to.
We have to because
Next year it won't be fake.
a very large conglomerate that we hate has purchased the mall.
Of course.
Walmart.
Fuck.
And
Naturally.
what are they going to do? They're probably just going to tear it down.
So we have to give our last hoorah of love to that
Absolutely.
establishment.
I'm so ready to go.
Yeah.
I think it would be a fun trip out to like Pittsburgh, and there's a lot of like places to go and visit because, like I said, all of the filming locations were in town. So it's like there's like the farm that you see in night and in day, in dawn. There's the mall itself. Tom Savini lives there, so it's like his house is around.
Hi, Mr. Zavini.
The entire town like really embraces that culture, which is really really cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of freaks in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Just some quick shout outs of like other production staff on here. Special effects was Gary Zeller, who was special effects for Scanners,
Ooh.
which is cool. The set decoration was
Scanners?
yeah.
Awesome.
Set decoration was Barbara Lifsher and Josie Caruso. Josie also was part of the costume design crew of that team.
Yes.
So like really cool. I mean, stunt people out the wazoo. Tom Savini, one of the stunt people.
Yeah. And boy did he stunt.
And boy did he stunt.
Him with his switchblade comb.
And talking about like before we get to that, because I've been waiting.
It's interesting too to compare this outsiders invading, compared to when it happens in the remake.
Yeah.
'Cause it's much later in the movie. Like that's the other thing. Like with the pacing, I was also like, all right, when are we gonna get to like they haven't had a problem in a while.
Yeah.
No one else.
Y'all
has
had it
decided
good
to come
for a
in.
real
Nobody
long
bothers them in the
time.
mall for a long, long
Yeah.
time until
Yep.
Savini and his boys show up. Compared to Ty Burrell and his crew in the remake, which is a different. Or actually, no. You know what? With the mall security, I guess it is.
Yeah.
But then
Mall
that's so
security.
early. That's so early.
Yeah, that's still pretty
Anyway.
early.
But no, these guys come in late, but are so much fun. All the stunts, all
Where'd
the
they get the
action.
pies?
That was gonna be my next question. You read my mind. My final note.
I was waiting
Well,
until
I was like-
you guys are like, the pie!
I was like, I need to talk about the pies.
Again, the
Obviously, they got it at the Steakery Love Pub.
the total whiplash of like, are these guys a threat or are they gonna be like just
No,
clowns?
You know
they're
what it
fucking,
kinda-
they're motorcycle clown shoes. Is
You know
what
what
it
it
is.
Which Argento and I think they love motorcycles. They love motorcycles.
Yeah.
So many of these Italian zombie movies at some point involve someone on a motorcycle with a friggin' katana, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Happens in at least one movie. But the motorcycles show up a lot. And Savini is in what is it? The Night motorcycle movie that Romero does after this.
I don't remember the name of it.
It's on my Romero list. I'll
That's
find
out
it.
of my brain. I can't remember.
But while you do that,
Just
for
I know
the
you're a
people
Savini
who
head.
are
I thought that would be.
unaware, we have our core 4 at the mall, and then this biker gang shows up, and in like Saint Jimmy style,
Yeah.
just clowns on, quite literally, like actual pies to the face, like, you know, just
while they're riding around on motorcycles.
just playing around with
Oh
them.
yeah, Night Riders.
Knight
yeah.
Oh, Knight Riders.
Nothing
okay.
to do with the talking car. Everything to do with the knights who ride motorcycles.
Like actual like.
I can't wait
Suit
to
of
watch.
armor.
I cannot wait to watch this.
It is yeah. It's
147
bonkers. I remember
minutes.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, so they joined the
147 minutes long. What are they going to do?
They're gonna ride motorcycles, Glenn. Are you not paying attention?
So many pies are gonna get thrown in that.
They're
movie.
knights. They're jousting. They're revving. They're jousting. I'm sorry.
how many times I have to tap the sign?
Don't make me tap the side.
But yeah, just talk about comedy.
It was- yeah,
You're just
that
like,
was-
is this real? Is this a hallucination?
I
But no,
loved it.
everything on that is real.
It was so cool. It was so good. Like
amazing.
so many people falling off balconies and stuff. Like into,
Which I loved.
It was
Very
so
fun.
great. I was so happy when that because that really just kind of kicks the movie in its pants and is like we gotta get moving on some stuff here. Now the other thing that I did have written down, I completely forgot to mention this when we were talking about what's her name, Fran. Well,
From Fran?
yeah, Glenn Ross.
Galen Ross.
Galen Ross.
Galen
I
Ross.
found out that she was told a couple times by Romero in filming scenes, like, "Hey, I need you to like be panicked. I need you to scream. I need you to do X, Y, and Z thing for this stuff." She refused. She was like, "I'm not going to scream." And her reasoning for that is because she wanted Fly Girl to be a strong female character.
She definitely was.
And she,
Right.
yeah, she was
Like I
more
would say-
composed than most people in
I
that.
was gonna say, in those little montages when there was like, all the guys shooting, she's right there.
Yeah.
She's shooting too.
And it's like, even earlier
She
when
makes
it's like,
Flyboy look like a jerk, because he is.
yeah. Well, it's like even in like the opening when they take that pit stop and like Flyboy gets like beat up by a zombie. It's like he's rolling around on the ground like trying to get a hammer, and it's like she is scared, and she's just standing there, but she doesn't scream. She like keeps her composure, and I thought that was such a really cool thing that it's like
No, good for her.
on
That's a
top
choice.
of all of the other commentaries and stuff that
Yeah,
we're
stand
doing.
on
No,
that.
we got a fucking strong female lead in this. She's not some like helpless damsel in distress.
That's why, I mean, I love Romero, because, like, from the jump, he was like, yeah, no, like, whether it's race, sex, queerness, masculinity, like, you're all a bunch of idiots. Like, I know what's up from, you know, the 60s onward, and I'm not gonna, you know, mince the dead about it. Like,
Yeah.
every movie I make is gonna be awesome, pulpy, shoot 'em up monster garbage, but it's also going to be like the most real takes about American society that like you'll see ever. Like
Yeah.
like Romero should be pointed out not only for being like Godfather of zombies, but for being one of the most incisive like socio-political commentaries in American media
Absolutely.
from earlier than
Hard
anyone
agree.
else.
Hard agree.
Like so much respect. Like so much
and
respect.
he like handled it like a fucking G.
Yeah, just did it like it was no problem and made it cool and sexy and underground and punk. Like just the
Yeah.
fucking best.
That's literally what I was just about to say. It's like it's so the way he handled it was so rock and roll.
And
It was
baked
just like
into
fucking
the
hell
ethos
yeah.
of punk and hardcore of like, you know.
And I like that forever laid the groundwork of like zombie films are like, no, there's gonna be some sort of like underlying commentary for things.
Well, I think if you're doing
Because
your
of
job right, because this is inherently so like this is what I was gonna say with all zombie movies, but like especially Romero, getting the credit for it as he well should. But like you see it in the original Night of the Living Dead, but I feel like it's like, oh, you know, once might be a coincidence, you know, but in the second one it's like no confirmation, and then the third is like obviously like no, you know what we're doing, and I know what I'm about. But in Dawn of the Dead, the remake or the original and the remake, I feel like it's very clear that like no, the dead are manageable, and eventually I think in Day of the Dead, the original, you see that like the dead are actually like part of a marginalized situation. And so anyway,
I love the way that they handled it with
I
Day.
think that's brilliant.
Like Day, they really stretched their legs with a human aspect of drama.
Like I mean, I know we don't really have time for Day or Bud, unfortunately, but like I could do, you know,
Bud
we could
is my
do
favorite
justice
character
to
of all
Bud.
time.
Yeah, he's not just a goofball. Like there's so much meat on those bones.
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna say that
It's
like
definitely the most serious entry, I think, out of the three. I think Day is the one that hits the hardest. Night being a very close second. I think Dawn is probably the most comedic out of all of them.
I would argue Night is kind of the realest because like Day has its like silly moments too, and it's also just like going for broke. Like that opening is so fucking cool and artsy and like surrealist and just like what the hell is happening? I don't care. It doesn't matter.
We're going through that little coastal town and it's like all the zombies start coming out and there's real fucking alligators just hanging out. Like what the fuck?
And I love
crabs crawling on people's faces and shit.
I love how hard the cast goes in the original Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Amazing villains, like I love, and it's something that 28 Days later picks up on with like making like a military folk like just the worst in those circumstances, whatever those instances. But like I don't know, that cast was like that what's his name? The main asshole in Day of the Dead, the main jerk army guy.
Oh,
he's awesome, but like. It's pretty big acting,
Choke on him!
It's pretty big.
One of the best death scenes of all fucking time, honestly. That and when the other guy gets his fucking head ripped off and you hear his vocal cords stretch. So it's like he's screaming and then his scream goes high pitched when they pull his head off. It's so gross.
Amazing detail. No, and his not
available on Pluto TV for anyone.
Not to spoil it, but I guess it's pretty old at this point. 85. But no, when he's getting ripped apart at the end, that was one of the best makeup effects things I've ever seen.
So
still
good. And then you had like sassy ass Bud just shooting him in his fucking chest.
The only time I'll ever salute and mean it is if Bud's in the room. But no, so I would always argue like Knight's kind of got like this like the prestige-y, in my
and I feel like the
all...
commentary on that one as a whole was like that one was thick with it.
Regardless though, I don't even argue that like the goofiest one, Dawn, kind of like solidifies what Knight like introduced very clearly, which was that the dead are manageable, the living are dangerous. The living are the problem every single time.
We were the monsters all along.
And like you could always and that's like become a joke, but like it is.
But it's a joke because
not where it came from, but this is part of like what has reinforced that idea in a more genuine, like real way.
Yeah,
where it deserves to be taken seriously. But no, it's just awesome because we could actually take care of the dead and rehabilitate them even at some point, or I don't know, support folks that seem like criminals and monsters but really just need a helping hand or whatever. You know what I mean? But people are always gonna be assholes at some point, and like
and if people are left unchecked, they're just gonna do all
that's the
shit.
checks and balances you actually need. And I love that these movies are secretly being not secretly, but like essentially in a codified way, being like, keep your eyes on the folks that you aren't like suspecting. Like keep an eye not on the obvious monsters that everyone's telling you to look at. Look at the ones next to you
that are pointing
in a suit or whatever. Exactly, that are pointing. As a point.
Whoa.
But no, exactly it. So it's nice to recognize this.
For sure.
I really do also like that they kind of took that full circle thing with like why are the dead coming to the mall? It's like they have a memory, it meant something to them.
Must have been important to them.
Consumerism.
And I like that ultimately comes into play at the very end of the movie when like Flyboy changes.
He goes back to
because he knows that the wall is fake. It's like he remembers that I have to go to the safe room, and that's why everything was fucking ruined.
Oh, quick question before we leave the original, and this is just like nothing to do with anything. So when they first get there, and they find like government supplies or whatever, like what was that? Like why were there survival supplies and whatever ration packages at like a random mall? You know what I mean? Like why? What were we supposed to?
I don't know.
I thought it was just like that was going to be like a checkpoint, like safe point, and it was abandoned.
Because like the whole thing was like that there are other places that are like havens and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's like,
it made me
and they talked
feel
like
I was
that was a new one, but like this one, I just assumed.
Because it's like that was a big empty apartment essentially upstairs, and it's like, well, why did this exist in the floor plan of this mall?
So, and remind me the ending, right? Because like, okay. Savini and his motorcycle crew show up with their Boston cream pies.
Yeah.
We pie everyone. We all have a great time.
We have a big old shootout. Ken Foray's laying underneath benches and shooting people. It was sick. Climbing into the ceiling vents and shit.
But he makes it and Fly Girl makes it, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then they fly out.
Yes.
And then credits roll. Did they make it anywhere? No. Okay.
The hope was that they would find somewhere.
Right. Okay. Because I do.
And I kind of like that fade to black moment on that because it's like, well, it's up to you to decide where or what happened next.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome.
That's a really cool way of doing that. I feel like a lot of times with like storytelling, it's like you do a fade to black and people are not going to be happy about that because they want the closure. But it's like in this setting, you're never going to get closure.
What closure are you going to get? It's the end of time.
If they find
essentially,
they find another spot that they can post up at, and how long do they have there before it fucking
you've
goes to
seen
shit?
them be in a safe space, and like it's only finite.
This one's also sort of narratively convenient in that it is like technically a middle chapter, even though it's not a direct sequel. You know what I mean? It's almost practically a remake. Not a remake, but like a different take on the same premise. Because it is still like Outbreak, and Onset. Whereas in the Night of Living Dead, like you actually get an ending. You do get a resolution, and it is like the irony of like the happy ending for the rest of the world versus Ben, who of course does not get the happy ending, right? Which
That is such an unsatisfying ending, but like it's intended to be because it's like you feel miserable at the end of it.
I would say it's not unsatisfying. It is like deeply tragic and it stings,
Yes.
but like it's supposed to, like you're saying. So like it is intentional. So I think it's like
It
honestly
hurts,
that's a 5-star movie. Like that's perfect. Like you whatever. That's
and
like,
if you really liked Night 90 is like I said, it's 1-to-1.
I can't wait. I'm so mad
I
that's the
feel
only
like
one I haven't watched.
you're gonna have such a good time with that one. Because it's like all of the special effects and everything that we're used to now, and it's like it's fresher. They're just redoing that movie, and it's just
which I think is ballsy and cool, even in 1990. So,
Yeah.
because it would be even today in 26.
But we got to the end of that, and what did we not see from Flyboy? Character development at all.
Oh, Flyboy.
I hated that movie. You know who had good character development? Fucking
Roger.
CJ. CJ in
Yeah,
04.
yeah.
That's fucking character development. He was probably my favorite character.
It figures.
Well, but I hate him too much in the first 2/3 of the movie.
You're supposed to.
I know, but I
I
don't.
was
It's
like, oh
whatever.
my god, is he supposed to be the people at the beginning of Dawn of the Dead? OG?
Say what?
Is he pulling the strings from old to new? Is he representative of the SWAT team in the beginning of prejudice, et cetera, profane?
I did.
How
in my
about you pour yourself a glass of shut the fuck up?
I did keep calling them in my notes of my rewatch of the remake, like the Jan Sixers. Who eventually, of course, become ICE. Like these are the mall security guards that wish they were, Call of Duty.
Also,
Call of Duty
why does
assholes.
mall security have
Guns? Yeah. Well, 2004. Hey, post 9/11 was a serious time, son. Don't you question it.
And also, who's this like Wish.com Jason Mewes that they got running around in there too? The one guy.
Wait, no. Who's Jason Mewes
You-
again? American Pie?
No, Jason Mewes is Jay from Jay and Silent
Oh,
Bob.
yeah. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. Yeah, duh. Sorry. Which one?
I was supposed to go on a date.
Sidekick?
I was supposed to
Not
go
the
on a
young
date
one.
with that girl from Dairy Queen.
Fat one?
Yeah.
That's asshole.
I probably fuck her. It's like,
don't do-
shut up.
Don't do Jay dirty like that.
Oh my god.
So he looks like Jason Mewes. That's all it was. So it was like, who the fuck is this guy? No, but we got
hate
like
him too.
such good character development out of those guys.
Well, okay, but before we start jumping
hopping into 04 now. Like, yeah, it got me when I was doing my research and I found out that James Gunn wrote it, and I was like, oh fuck, like this actually makes a hell of a lot more sense now. I'm still not happy about Fast Zombies. I do like the way they look.
Did you not enjoy them in Days? 20 days later?
Different.
Okay.
I'm willing to accept those Fast Zombies. Why? Because it's a virus.
It's a rage virus.
It's basically steroids.
But then
and
so-
it's like that makes sense.
So that's interesting. So like I want to ask, like, so then how closely were you holding this to being like a sequel that belonged in a specific narrative universe? Was this not also its own thing? Or because it was a remake of a classic, you wanted it to
I
appear
kind of
more?
You
already
wanted it
had
to
like
still be-
I kind of wanted like because I've always loved slow zombies. I think
Sure, yeah,
something is so much more unnerving about the fact that it's like even though they're slow, they're easy to take down. It has nothing to do because when
the-
they all start pushing together,
It's the same as when Michael Myers would, mosey on his way toward a kill. It was like, bitch, I don't need to run.
Yeah.
I
And
am inevitable.
I feel like that
I
fear-
am inescapable.
Yeah.
I don't have to rush. That's the kind of confidence that is like psycho killer, like run for your life type shit.
Yeah.
I will say, being the scaredy cat that I am, I enjoy.
You don't like being chased.
No, but no. I'm fine with being chased. I'm not Cho.
Yeah,
Love
sure.
you. But like, I like the concept of fast. I like you don't have time to think. It is now instinct.
Do or die.
Yeah. So like things like other fast movies, Train to Busan.
God, they're fast.
Amazing, awesome zombie
World
movie.
War Z. I am
amazing.
Legend. Yeah.
Yeah?
I Am Legend.
Technically.
Zombie. Infected.
Yeah.
But like, having these fast zombies, like, it shows up in video games too. So like it became something cool. And you can do a lot of really cool things with it. Like the parking garage where it's like, see, it was just the dog. And you just see this monkey bar fucking.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
And that's the thing. You can't do that with a slow zombie. They're
true.
impending. But it's literally like, it's a little secret because,
the
obviously.
running swarms is cool because it's almost like bees. Because, like, you get a couple of them going, and then all of them start going. That is, but I feel like Shaun of the Dead, I think, nailed it with the slow zombies because it's like, when they finally do come through that window into the bar at the end, it's like, that slow swarm of just tearing people to shreds in fucking Day of the Dead. The slow swarm tearing people, that shit is fucking unnerving.
Yeah, because it's forcing you to watch it.
Yeah.
For sure. It's, it's one of those I can't look away moments.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
And I don't think any of us are saying, well, one or the other.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
No.
It's definitely
Personally,
it's
if
definitely
I can
both.
have it my way, I like Resident Evil zombies, where it's like they're slow and then they have their jolts, and it's like that's fun, that's creepy.
Yeah.
When they start taking off, it's like, oh.
I do like
love
the
that.
idea where it's like, well, if it's a virus or whatever it is, like, cosmic rays, radiation, whatever it is.
Venus.
I like the idea of it affecting different folks in
Trioxin,
different ways.
yeah.
If a pro wrestler that wasn't very decayed got infected or whatever, maybe he would react differently than
Are you saying a
a
Samson of sorts?
95-year-old person who, when they died,
Moon.
was, whatever. So, what?
He was like Samson and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like Moon. But yeah, super cool though how it's introduced in the opening sequence and that you're seeing the destruction in real time.
Yes, you see shit hit the fan, like, because the night before there's more people being admitted to the ER.
Leaves.
There's signs of things, and
Yeah.
it's like there's also like the radio report.
Well, I like the idea that like Night of the Living Dead is happening. We just didn't see it.
Yes.
We only heard about it from her
Yeah.
background chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So,
she
like,
stayed overnight,
those-
she would be Night in the Living
This
Dead.
this
So
got
there are
pointed
isolated
out.
incidents, but they're isolated.
I'm curious if you guys picked up on this because it got pointed out to me.
Oh.
Shout out Melissa for pointing this out. In the opening, right? She is like, it's like 5 a.m. or some shit, 6 o'clock, whatever it is, like whenever she wakes up to get ready to go to work.
Yeah.
It's like 6 a.m. or something like that. Why was there a children's birthday party outside?
From the day before or something.
There was like, there is a birthday set up in a front yard with children, and like they're getting chased by zombies. What the fuck are those kids doing at 5
know.
o'clock in the morning for a birthday party?
I don't remember a birthday party happening. Like, I don't know. I never thought about it. I would have assumed it was from like days prior and
Yeah,
just
I
shit was
wouldn't have paid
popping
attention.
off. Not
Yeah.
that they were partying, but that they were being chased.
It just seemed like it was like either they had like a party the day before, or it was like, how late was this fucking kids party going? Like, she got home
I don't know,
late.
Anyway, though, I would
would've
say
thought the
Yeah,
same
I was just curious if you guys caught that or not. I was like, this is a very odd thing to pick up on.
I would say I didn't. So as we were talking about earlier, I think this is like a perfect opening to a movie. Like, so I didn't really like. I feel like it's like fairly flawless. So I did not pick up on that at all. I didn't.
And
give
it's
that a
also,
second
there's
thought.
so much information being thrown at you that you just kind of have to be along for the ride, almost literally. That the background stuff is harder to pick up on because it's like, oh no, there's just mass chaos happening.
Yeah. You don't know who in the background is infected.
When that dude
or-
gets fucking smashed by the car, oh.
I would disagree because I think like it's handled so visually astutely that like plenty of information's happening, but I don't find it overwhelming. I don't find it. I find it like exactly as chaotic as they wanted it to feel. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it lands so perfectly because like shit's popping off and like you're just like holy god, like what's happening? But like you're also focused on exactly what they want you to focus on. Like
Yeah.
We can talk a lot of smack on Zack Snyder, and I absolutely would love to. But like his
There's-
first few movies
Yeah,
are.
I was gonna say there's a couple of exceptions to that rule before we got the Zack Schneider that everybody does want to make fun of.
It is
Because,
Snyder, by the way. I don't know if it's not Schneider.
Okay.
But he has like a very distinctive like visual like language, if you want to like put it to that. And then, you know, I feel like from Sucker Punch on, I couldn't hang with him. I just like, oh, you're doing your own weird thing, buddy.
Like I still love The Watchmen. Like that is one of my favorite movies. Like it's
I
a
love it
good
as well, but I think it only, again, like works based on the strength of the writing. Like, and again,
Yep.
it's not a mistake that like 300 is cool because like, well, Frank Miller kind of knows what he's doing with the script,
Yeah.
or at least in that one. Frank Miller's a piece of shit, but you know, James Gunn wrote this one, so like kind of hard to fuck that up. You know, and so like every time he's got like a decent writer on his back, like he can
Yeah.
do good work. I even didn't hate the Guardians of Gaul, which was the weird kids owl.
The
movie
owl
they did.
movie?
Jesus Christ.
I only watched it maybe like, 20 years ago when it first came out. But I remember being like, oh, this is kind of neat for a weird superhero owl fable. But like,
Wasn't
again,
that just The Watchmen?
it was Night Owl. It's Night Owl.
Full circle, baby.
But it's crazy.
Time is a flat circle after all, you know?
Because the slow-mo is in that too. Like, it's in everything.
Yeah.
But regardless, like
Yeah.
my point being, like I think Zack Snyder like does kind of like become a parody of himself. And
I'm pretty
kinda,
happy that I don't think there was any bullet time or anything like that in this movie.
No,
In-
you know
in
what?
Dawn.
There isn't any slow mo in this that I could recall. A lot of cool shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, the camera work honestly was really
That's
good.
what I'm saying. I don't want to talk too much smack on Snyder because I know he has encountered real tragedy in his life. So like I'm just letting him have his space.
And that tragedy was the Batman movie that he did.
Do you know what had happened with him?
No.
Around that time, like his daughter has died by suicide. So
Oh,
he's
no.
kind of that's kind of why he fell out of the Justice League movie. He had to go deal with family stuff, and that's why Joss Whedon took over, and the rest is history for the DCU. But yeah, so like I could like really make fun of Zack Snyder because he is just like the 13-year-old boy of like
just
directors
wasn't-
at this point.
I just wasn't vibing with Batfleck, so.
I actually like him in the role, but like, yeah, the movie's insane and it's so weird. And he just hates Superman and just like is very much like writing like a 500-page script just to call Superman a cuck. Like it's so weird. It's so weird. But that's a different podcast, guys.
Go back to your cuck chair, Krypton.
Working on.
Back in 2004, this man made an amazing opening to a movie, which I just was gonna say from the cold open through the Johnny Cash cover, or excuse me, the Johnny Cash song of "The Man Comes Around."
Yeah, this soundtrack fucks, dude.
Such a,
With
like-
the exception of I hate Disturbed. I hate Disturbed.
Well, I hate Disturbed.
Yeah.
and-
I hate David Draymond.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah, that piece of shit can like come fight us all. Like we
Yeah.
will absolutely fuck you up.
Don't
'Cause
rip
he's an
your
asshole.
stupid fucking lip rings out, you dumbass.
He's garbage. But
Dumbass.
Richard Cheese cover.
Richard Cheese's cover is totally fine.
and the timing of it, like we're jumping ahead.
Why don't you fuck off and die?
It's amazing. So if you're not familiar, Richard Cheese was like a not doo-woppy, but like a kind of big
A
bandy
parody. He's a parody lounge singer.
lounge singing parody.
Yeah.
Like kind of Weird Al, imagine, but like
Yes.
not as jokey in a very specific style. And
Like
whatever.
he did My Neck, My Back. Like he's done several songs and they're
Isn't that
incredible.
more about turning like dirty 2000s pop music from like hip hop and hard rock into like lounge.
Yep,
you know,
I believe
covers.
he did the thong song as well.
Yeah. So very funny stuff, like goofy, silly if you're into that. But his cover of this crappy band Disturbed's single that opens with the line "Oh shit" is so hilarious because
Can
not
you
only
feel it?
is it silly and haha, but it happens again, which is why I kind of think this movie nails the action, like the horror comedy tones, better than the original. In the original, I feel like it's a little too all over the place, all at once, and it's great and it's amazing, but like you gotta appreciate them in like isolated moments. Like it doesn't feel as cohesive to me
Yeah.
as the remake does, because that is a perfect example. Because that funny cover of like a silly song, whatever, happens in probably maybe the second darkest moment or third darkest moment of the movie, aside from like the child deaths, because it is when the sweet whatever redhead teenager like traumatized girl's dad.
Nicole's dad.
Right after he died.
Has to get put down, and it's like one of the most harrowing moments of the movie when children are not being killed.
Fun fact.
Zombie children, but still.
You'll probably remember. You might know who I'm talking about. I don't know if you'll remember it.
Great actor, by the way. That dad, I forget his name, but he's a character actor. Does a ton of shit. He's awesome.
He was Max Headroom.
Yeah, he was.
He's Max
Was he the original? Or,
yes.
Like the American one, or was it always?
No, it was always the American.
It was that
one,
guy. Okay. Yeah, he's in.
That's Max Headroom. Yeah.
He's a crazy.
He's
dude.
in a ton of. He's a like Doug Jones level character actor.
Matt Frewer.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the things from my childhood that I'm like.
He's been in a
him
ton.
From, but he's done like 100.
No, he's fantastic.
Oh wow, yeah.
And like he really like chopped it up for that role. Like that was good.
His Panic in Hercules.
He's barely in this movie, but he is indelible.
He makes a statement,
and that's what I'm saying. Like he makes like one of the most like difficult parts of the movie to watch, and they don't even like make you watch it. It's just you have to hear it.
Yeah,
and it's like it's really.
They literally put him down and then went. Lounge music, shopping.
But I thought
we have
worked.
a man trying on heels.
That's the kind of contrast that I think.
Hanging out, having a great time.
I like that.
That's the kind of contrast that I think acknowledges the audience and like where you're at. 'Cause it's like, yeah, we just brought them to their lowest point. Now we got to kind of build them back up. And like, I think that's how you do it.
I did not need to see the dad from Modern Family banging a lady.
Ah!
I didn't need to see that.
Yo,
Okay.
He had to make that Modern Family.
he made a porno. He made a porno.
I watched
Several.
I watched this before I ever came around on Modern Family. 'Cause, like, on principle, I kind of hated Modern Family.
I was like, he's always just been a snarky asshole in every role that he's in, and I love it.
But in the years since, I've really come around on Modern Family just as like a comfort watch or whatever. But like, Ty Burrell is hilarious.
I love Ty Burrell.
He's also like fantastic in this very, very wholesome dad role, like wholesome to a fault. And like, he's my favorite character on the show, and like he's so great. But so yeah, seeing him, just like okay, my other favorite line from the movie is from Ty Burrell. And again, it is comedy coming in at one of the most like genuinely vulnerable, emotional moments where, unlike in the original where they're sort of invaded by others, it's pretty much always a threat. In the remake, they do that early with the mall security guards, but then about halfway through, you get actual outsiders, like not from the mall, coming in, and it's folks who are just like randos, running from the zombies, more survivors, good people, blah, 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 whatever, we can get into them.
Coming in from the fort or wherever they were going. Yeah.
They were heading toward a fort or from a fort, but what happened was an older woman who was just in her truck heard over the CB radio and whatever. What she tells not Tim Roth is
I totally thought it was Tim Roth for the longest time.
That's American Tim Roth. I forget his name, but I just call him not Tim Roth.
I kept calling him Nick because he looks just like Nick from Left 4 Dead.
She tells him, I heard Glenn on the CB about people in a church, so I picked him up. And he's just like, oh man, like you just did that out of the kindness of your heart. Like you just did that randomly. Like look at you, and you did that, and you saved them. Here you are. Like that's all subtext. But what he literally says is like, well done. And she gives him back a real solemn, thanks. This like 60+ year old woman trying her best. And then here comes Ty Burrell in with the, hey, when you two fellas are done blowing each other, maybe Davy Crockett over here can tell us what's going on. And like I just fucked it up, but like it is the funniest.
Maybe we can go down to the marina and take a spin on my yacht. It's like, well, shut the fuck up. That's a great idea. Why didn't you say that earlier?
When they're making the escape plans, that's what happens again. Ty Burrell coming in with comedy on these very like harrowing moments. And again, for me, that reads as like intentionality and like consideration.
The captain doesn't get his hands dirty with the crew. He's such an asshole.
He got what was coming to him.
He did.
And it's so funny, like, if I ever turn straight to Anna, I want you to take me out. She's like, no problem. And then, bang. Yeah, he himself exists as the hedonist.
Yeah.
While they all had that sequence,
everybody
represents
indulged, but he was the personification of it. Yeah.
Yes. And he carries that throughout the whole thing, as opposed to like the OG, where like they had their sequence of it and like of having everything, but he was just he was the trope of it.
Yeah. It was a great addition to the cast. Like, and I know it's hard when comparing it to the original. That like I understand that with having like in the original, your tighter, smaller group of people trying to survive, and just having the expanse of the mall at their fingertips. And it was like they kind of doubled down with the newer one where it was like, all right, we're going to put a lot of people in here. But it's like a lot of people means there's like going to be a lot more headbutting and a lot more drama and a lot more like just trying to deal with what's happening here. And it was so interesting because we got all of these little character aspects from different people of what's going on.
Yeah, you have the father and daughter. You have the churchman who like people go to, I would say, a good amount of times for religion's sake, and he just tells them like, I just play the organ.
Yeah.
And like you have, your not military, but you have your security guards. You have like
Well, no, you do have a cop who's ex-military.
Yeah. Ving Rhames.
Who, by the way,
Ving Rhames.
just to, again, give James Gunn more props for his writing and the casting, because I love this cast, but they have amazing performances. But when he first comes upon them with not Tim Roth, them being the blonde nurse lady, she's bloody, crawling out of the car, right? He's got her by gunpoint, not exactly sure what her deal is. And what is the first word she says to indicate that she is a civilized human?
Don't.
Please.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like manners. Like, I just thought that was such smart writing. Like, and then later when she is telling the young security guard, like, hey, like, asshole, you can't just keep us locked up. There's a pregnant lady here. Like, where do you want us to pee? And he's like, oh, whatever. I'll go tell CJ. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That line really sticks out to me. Like, I love, like, I don't know. They really gave these actors opportunities to make the characters feel real and not just going through their paces to get from A to B in terms of scene setting.
Even your like kind of throwaway-y kind of characters, like the fucking faux Jason Mewes guy. It's like him just being like chronically online with the TV. Like, oh no, I just think like whatever that cop's doing is like the coolest thing
Oh, you mean like
ever.
people that fell for Reddit and Q and all the, conspiracy shit that,
It's
was
like there's still
engineered by
complexity
the
to
Epstein
that.
class? What? Huh?
Because like you have this sheriff on the TV that was being like, oh yeah, oh you got a Twitcher over there, and he's like, cool
So
Twitcher.
Yeah.
he did come up with a cool code name.
Yeah, it's like
That was
so.
him,
It's
right?
everybody has something going on for them. Also, what the fuck was the deal of bringing that lady in? The big lady in the wheelbarrow. You could have left her ass outside. That woman screamed infection.
I think that was when they were still learning that a bite could do that, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because that made
Sure.
a point of like who was bit, who wasn't, and like
Because again, zombies don't exist in this world. They have
Thought
to
you
learn
just shoot
from
Tucker.
experience.
I only hurt my ankle. We don't know that.
Speaking of trivia, did you know did you recognize the original green BP logo on the trucks?
No, I didn't.
The one that crashes into the mall in this one is the same green BP trucks that they're driving around in the original.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the one thing I noticed watching these almost back to back.
I did notice when I was looking into something, I saw the name come across in the credits, and I was like, wait a minute. Do you know who the costume designer was?
No.
David Cronenberg's sister.
Sister?
Sister.
Awesome.
And I was like, that's
Denise.
cool. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was like, that was
I
really
didn't
cool.
notice the Cronenberg in
She's
credits.
done a
I didn't-
lot of costumes.
Yeah.
She did The Fly. She did Dead Silence. She did a
So that
lot.
means Denise,
Cronenberg.
David, Brendan, and daughter, is it Carolyn?
I think so, yeah.
Who did
Humane.
Humane, which I really liked.
Humane was crazy. That was
That's
weird.
awesome. Just like, it's in the family business.
I do.
Yeah, Caitlin.
Caitlin, excuse me. Very good.
To your point as well with like how well these actors just kind of like walked through their roles and everything, and like everything added up. Did you know this entire movie was shot chronologically?
Oh, no.
Which is like, that's crazy.
No, yeah, that's unheard of. It's usually done, according
like
to what's
snippets.
practical
And
for the
I feel like
sets and
that
whatnot.
really does play into like
They'll do
how
that when
people
it's like a
interact.
survival thing, I
Yeah,
think,
Because I've
sometimes.
been filming with you since the beginning
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
like, oh shit.
I don't know you that well.
Anytime somebody
I'm
new
out.
shows up on the set, it's like, all right, well now our chemistry's already going to be
Different.
weird because I don't know you.
Well, and that's what I was going to say earlier with the writing and the different like conflicts that get like I was going to say just like in a zombie movie or a survivalist movie, every interaction is conflict until it isn't, right? And then
Right. Everyone's apprehensive.
So, but it's so telling, like how, like, and I forget all the characters' names, but like Ving Rhames and Blonde Nurse, like they kind of get
Anna
over it
and
real
Kenneth.
quick. Anna and Kenneth, they kind of come to terms quickly. You know what I mean? Like that group
They're
forms quick.
there from the beginning.
And then I love how like CJ and the mall security guys get overpowered pretty quick. Like Like, it's awesome because
Oh
I'm
my
the
cool.
kind of movie watcher who will be like distracted by his anger if I hate a character too much, which is why it is awesome that CJ gets like his full character arc and he becomes redeemed, at least technically in the script, whatever. But he's such a piece of shit in the beginning, and like I could not watch him.
It makes it so much more satisfying when he does.
I could not watch
yeah.
him in 2026 without being like, you January 6th piece of shit, I fucker, like, like, I don't want you to be redeemed, ever. But Tim Roth, again, American, not Tim Roth, kind of working him in being like, oh yeah, man, that's you got a great idea, and hey, I know you don't need my advice, but hey, why don't we start maybe securing the doors and shit like that?
What do you think? Like making it seem like it's all his plan.
It's a teacher move.
Yes, it was, which is so funny
So
too, because
smart
when he
of him.
starts talking about like what he's done, and it's like
laying out alternatives. Well, hey, here's what we could do. You're the boss.
well, when they're sitting at dinner and he's like talking about his past jobs and stuff, and it's like he's an unremarkable
that's what I was
human
gonna say.
being.
He's like, yeah,
But he's
not
thriving here.
He's not a journalist. He's not a cop. He's not a doctor. He's not a lawyer. He's a loser.
He's like talking about all these like shit dead end jobs,
Sounds
and being
like a
bad
crappy dad
husband,
and a shitty husband.
and then
yeah.
like fucking Ty Burrell is like, man, the end of the world is really holding you back.
that was
You had
hilarious
so
line.
much going on, man. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, James Gunn is a great writer of character, and like that's really what drives these stories in particular.
Yeah.
And, unless you have like the allegory chops of like Night of the Living Dead, but like that's kind of that was sort of one in a million a little bit.
How'd you guys feel about Andy?
Oh,
I loved Andy.
Andy's amazing. I was gonna ask like, I didn't do the research. Do you guys know of many other devices or instances in other movies, older movies, where like it was that kind of communication situation where Andy is
No, there was. Oh shit! It was a. There's a horizontal movie.
Yeah.
Please hold. Please hold. Please hold.
unfamiliar, Andy is a person that is stranded on the roof of a nearby gun shop.
He's the owner
across
of
from
the
the
gun
mall.
store. Yeah.
Owner of the gun store, but he's secluded. He's by himself. He's safe where he is, but he's not long for that location. And he's able to communicate with everyone. At
He's
the
got
mall,
all the guns and he's got all the ammo, but he doesn't have all of the survival stuff.
and he can communicate with everyone just by like via whiteboard, like big signs or whatever. And they end up having a relationship, playing chess, becoming friends, even though he's a silent character. And so it's all the more tragic when he finally goes. And it's just again like amazing character work,
And
amazing
I love that
building.
Ving
and,
Rhames is ultimately the one that has to put him down.
and who is like the coldest from the beginning, and like this
Like-
character shows his heart.
Rooftop romance. I know it's a friendship, but I'm like, come on.
It felt like a
Rooftop bromance.
It was the if we can repeat the same thing we did a few episodes ago. It was very much the across the rooftop.
What do you mean across what episodes?
Just across the rooftop. That's what that was.
It was
What
the
him
Predator
and-
moment.
What him and Kenneth had.
This would be that equivalent.
Yeah,
100%.
just like-
best bromance. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Ving
they're
Rhames was
taking-
definitely sweaty enough to make that thing look good, like make it look good, like in
They were
the
taking
movie.
shots at like celebrity lookalikes. They were playing
So much
chess
fun.
across the
That's what I'm
board.
saying,
Yeah.
They became best
And then they
friends.
would like sign off and like
Yeah, there's such affection.
also little tiny. Ah.
But
There
like,
were a lot of callbacks to that.
Oh yeah.
oh my god, well. It was so heartbreaking when, like, he's like on the thing. He's like, "Oh, they nicked me and I'm good." And he's like, "What is he doing?" And all you see is him just rubbing his blood on like the sign.
And he's holding
as the response.
Dude,
That was so
he
tragic, but
looked
such a great choice.
great too when they did that. After his transformation, it's like,
And then he just
was
dropped it,
also,
and-
yeah, well, he
yup.
was like so like emaciated from not being like having food or anything. He was just like he was starving up on that rooftop.
My notes for Andy were Andy on the roof. Other movies, quote. So what's the bad news? Which was his line. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
which like, man, you're an awesome character.
Yeah.
And then I just have
He's likable immediately.
and then I just have in parentheses later, comma his bloody sign. So like, yeah,
That's a good
I-
quote.
Oh, okay. So I know we're kind of wrapping up towards the end of our. I don't know what else all we want to cover. Definitely want to get to the ending, but go
Quick
on.
talk on like things patching over and the kids.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Zombie Baby?
I mean, like, there's one thing. This is a reach for me. This is my reach. Let me have it. Please be on the ride with me.
Yeah, no, I have
And
the
like,
take. I don't
I don't know how to piece it into the grand scheme of everything has meaning, but like,
Not that everything needs to, but
right, but.
I
The
want
way
the
that
Russian name.
What?
I want the Russian name.
her
Don't start this again.
I feel
Mackay
so
Pfeiffer.
bad that I don't remember her name, but
Her I don't, but-
and Andre, they she's
Pfeiffer,
pregnant.
right?
She gets nicked. She goes through pregnancy. she's infected at this point. Baby is infected, and I'm like, I don't know if generational trauma is the right word for it, or like, you know, like
take a stab at that. Yeah.
Yeah, or a bite, or like something of that matter, where like, you know, it's still people being. It's not zombies, it's the people. Because the people make the zombies. And she carries on whatever she has with her to the baby.
Yeah.
I thought that was very much
No,
it.
I see that 100%. My thing is, what threat does a zombie baby pose?
Or symbolic.
They have no teeth.
Well,
You cannot get bit.
yeah, no, I don't think it's much of
Yeah,
physical danger so much as what it
wasn't-
symbolically represents.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like we're gonna get, like, no. And what we've seen, like...
I'm so glad that we didn't get like a zombie baby like across the floor. I'm glad we
Jesus
didn't get
Christ.
that.
And as we've seen in prior scenes, the blood isn't what infects, it's the bite. So,
Yes.
like, you know, nothing...
I would say something like that would be playing it for laughs, which I think would be fucked up.
Yeah.
And this doesn't do that.
No.
1,000%.
I think
Like,
we are meant
you
to...
set foot in that like the nursery store, and it's like the whole tone changed for the movie. Anytime that they were like showing you in that room, that was like a little novella happening.
Their
within
little
this mall.
fantasy was probably like the most tragic thing going on.
Oh my god, yeah.
In the background. Well, so like my notes
Because
were...
like he bears it too, like to Ken in the bathroom, like when they first get there, and he's like, "No, my job is to make sure that this baby gets fucking born and has a better life than I ever had." Hard rules, and he sticks to it.
In my notes, I wrote, like, what do we make of the zombie baby? Easy to say generational trauma now, but in the context of 2004, you know, I wasn't sure. But no, I think that's the way to go.
Yep.
Because, you know, at this point, we firmly understand, as we were saying earlier, like, zombies aren't the enemy. People are, right? So then what are we making of the dead? The dead are the marginalized. And so if we're meant to be thinking about the idea of marginalized dead children, like, I can't think of anything else but genocides, right?
Yeah.
Which, again, funny that, you know, Disturbed is kind of half featured in the soundtrack.
Yep.
Also funny that, like, you know, this is not only a post, you know, Dawn of the Dead movie, not only a post 28 Days Later movie, but also, as we mentioned earlier, like a post 9/11 movie. And in the opening, that beautiful 13 minutes, those credits are featuring like montages of not just, you know, zombie destruction and sci-fi blah blah blah, but it's very like sociopolitical footage of like just, you know,
Various
civic instability
Yeah,
and civil unrest.
various like war footage as well.
And a lot of like flags and war footage and tanks and just like random Middle Eastern stuff, and you see a lot of people in mosques and like a lot of subtle, you know, Islam type imagery getting snuck in, which just kind of like fit the bill when it came to like apocalyptic imagery in the early 2000s, which is just, you know, something that I think can't be ignored, especially when you are going out of your way to feature not just the dead children that got to get got, because at least if you're like, you know, old enough to run at me, I can like justify knocking your head off. But like literally,
Are you kidding me? That little girl ripped that dude's fucking throat out.
She
like
was a
that,
danger.
that was a bad,
she
bad
proved
person.
that she needed to be put down. But then again, like you're saying, they were so ballsy to take it that much of a step forward and be like, babies aren't a threat physically. What could we do? What could be done with a dead zombie baby? And I think like what we're saying is kind of like what all you can kind of take from that. But that's wildly controversial, but I think not gratuitous.
Yes.
Because it is intentional.
It didn't give. It wasn't. The scene was handled well enough that it's like you're not gonna walk away with it with like, oh, that gave me the ick. Like no, it
I
was
honestly
handled
didn't-
very, very well.
I honestly didn't know what to make of it when I was like 20 and watching it. Like it kind of gave me the
I
ick,
do
but
love that
didn't
the
know what
old
to
lady
make
was
of it.
like, "Son of a bitch, shot me." Ugh.
Fucking Norma! I liked Norma, and
I
of
did
course.
too.
Well, yeah.
It was like they gunned each other down. It was bad. It was like, baby, baby, baby.
Just like,
So that was the other thing I was
whoopsie.
asking earlier
What you
about the
say?
end of the original. I couldn't really remember what happened post credits. The
camcorder.
in the chopper, because in the remake it's so, you know, infamous for doing the sort of post credits camcorder footage.
There was
It's
like
such a cool idea.
2 or 3 credit rolls on this.
So
man.
much fun.
Like just when you thought it was like over, it's like we're back again.
And that was
they
such a
leave
neat
them-
trick to pull. Like this is pre-MCU, and this is just like very fun, engaging
and I
filmmaking.
love the way they cut it too with like the
Kenneth will be
camcorder.
returning for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
But I did like
Amazing.
that, where like they go off on the boat, and
Yeah.
then you see, like, at first I was confused because it was Ty Burrell's character, and I'm like, oh, it's his
footage, and that was neat in itself.
Yeah.
But again, like we were saying earlier, this is like vaguely a middle chapter. Also, this the inherent nature of a zombie story of like, you're dropped into a thing that's already been happening, like in media res. Why should you get a nice, neat little bow on the ending? Like that's not really how these go.
Yeah.
So like it's such a perfect opportunity to play with. We're done. Not really. We're done. Not really.
Jump scare.
You still want to know. And
Yeah.
like it's
And
just
I loved when
cool.
Samuel L. Jackson showed up and recruited Ken for the Avengers.
Yeah, Shang-Chi ring opened and he came out. But it was also, it was giving, and like, I know we're wrapping up, but like, I meant to bring this up earlier, but like, the classics of video games, Left 4 Dead. This is very pinnacle Left 4 Dead, where like in the storyline, they have to go to an objective. They had mall scenes too, which was really fun. But one of the cool things was like at the end of each one, they escaped in something. Either it was a plane, either there was a boat, either it was like a reinforced car. Like and like these movies had all of that. Like you see the inspirations of those movies in these games.
Oh, okay. The initial release was 2008 for Left 4 Dead.
Amazing. 4 years after.
So yeah, Nick was definitely based on not Tim Roth for this.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
So like I really like that, of Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood, any zombie movie, like it
Jim
goes
Ruth.
it goes back to
American Tim Roth is Jim Ruth. James Ruth.
it goes back
That's
to its
James
roots.
Ruth if you're nasty.
And I think it's really cool, and I'm very glad I can make those connections now, experiencing the OG and seeing how it translates up to now.
Yeah.
One of
One of the like two things that I had written down for this as well is when they're leaving. They're making that beeline out of the sewer through the thing, like we're going now, and they get in the elevator. CJ sitting there going, I like this song. It was fully improvised.
Oh, really?
And
That's awesome.
That's why everybody was like, what the fuck when they looked at it.
That was a great moment.
It's even funnier when they recorded it, the music was not happening. There was no music in this elevator, which is why everybody looked at him so weirdly.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
I love that. He
And,
made that
and
scene.
they left it. And it's like, that is one of my favorite scenes of that entire movie is like the hectic chaos that just happened. He just had to shoot Tucker in the face. They're running through a sewer. Ty Burrell didn't open the door like he was supposed to. It was like, so much chaos is happening. They get into this elevator and he's just like, I like this song.
That's a really great icebreaker moment. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I loved it.
I know a lot of folks can complain about that. It's like, why can't you just let a moment be full attention? Like, why do you have to hold hands and make it funny?
Have
But,
you ever met a human being before?
And also, I don't
People
know.
get awkward,
And it's also
want to
just
break
fun.
that awkwardness. And I love it. Like that is so inherently human.
Yeah,
Like, it's
you want to.
Yeah, and it's like
For folks that I think use humor as a regular coping mechanism, it just feels more
whatever
natural.
could you mean?
Yeah. I kind of wish you. Oh, do you have more trivia?
I have one more.
Good.
Yeah.
Wait, no, hold on to it because what I'm about to say is kind of a bummer.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, just the last thing I was gonna throw on these is that
Balance it.
Well, yeah, that's why I was like, don't let me end
Perfectly
on this note.
balanced,
But
as all things should be.
one of
We
my
gotta stop with the Marvel references.
sorry.
Go for it. Go
I said
for it.
perfectly balanced.
Thanos, thank you. No, so whether it's the original or this one, I'm always just like, you had them all. Yes, haha, satire, political commentary, but it's a great setup. This is an awesome stronghold. If you got the barriers, why would you ever leave the mall?
With shatterproof glass.
You got you have the barricades, you have supplies. Why would you ever leave? You have so much space. Anyway, why would you ever leave? And I think we are meant to ask that question. I think the explicit answer that they give us, if it's done well, as I think it is here, is that people can't deal with just waiting for death. People can't handle having a steady situation in this set of circumstances because even in that relative safety, you are now just waiting for death.
Yeah.
And that's hard for most people to do, even though that's all we ever do. That is what the human condition is, especially in a comfortable, privileged society, right? So that's why I think zombie movies hit so hard. It's because they really zero in on what I think a lot of people do without even realizing it, which is essentially, struggling to maintain morale, putting on a brave face even when you know everything is falling apart literally around you. And I'm struggling with that personally very hard recently. So I really connected with Dawn of the Dead, the remake in particular, because I feel like it nails that struggle in a very specific way, even more than the original. Along the same lines as maybe Night of the Living Dead, but for that, Ben is dealing with racism explicitly, whereas here I see it more as just this is what we all deal with in the modern age, like especially in the United States, when we are like part of a machine that we do not, want to be a part of. But I think zombie movies are really good for kind of showcasing like the truth of that moment and how hard of a struggle that is. And again, that's way worse than ever having to like shoot corpses in the face that are chasing me. Like, how often have we fantasized about like, oh, I could just quit my job tomorrow and become like a survivalist as long as I, you know what I mean? Like, we've all had the fantasy of being Pedro Pascal and like doing better in, the apocalypse than we ever did in life, much like American Tim Roth, Jim Ruth. Like, I feel like that's, not just a funny Ty Burrell joke, but it's like, yeah, man, the apocalypse is really
holding you back.
Because, but no, it's true. It's almost like life holds us back, or civilization holds some of us back more than the lack thereof.
Yeah.
It's just like an interesting flip of like kind of what Ben has to go through in the original Night of the Living Dead, where, or similar, like in that like civilization is kind of like messing with you because like you don't get to benefit from the privilege. So it's like anyone that is marginalized or not taken care of or supported, like this these apocalypse scenarios are almost like a respite. Like, again, personally, obviously, like everything surrounding COVID is a huge tragedy, but I was like, ooh, this is the closest my generation's ever going to get to retirement. I'm going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to love not going to work because I'm not allowed to for the next, 8 or 9 months or whatever. And I kind of did a little bit, even though I was going insane by the end. I was like, we all were, but
yeah.
Regardless, I just know that, I don't know. I think
humans
zombie
are
movies...
not meant to be isolated for so long.
We're not meant to be doing any of what we're doing for the most part. I think zombie
but
movies
it comes back to what you had said earlier on about how it's like when you get to the point, even if you have all of your creature comforts, all of your things, all of your stuff is here. What does any of that mean if you don't have a community?
Yeah.
And it's like that's truly the best way to survive these circumstances is just...
And that's where I think the Flyboy and Girl, photograph, painterly moment of them, just being like, oh, God, we're so bored. Mm-hmm. How many more times can we have sex with each other? And they're just ready to, move on because they just couldn't handle sitting still anymore.
Yeah.
Monotony of it all.
And if we're good to, start winding down, I will just reiterate what Ken Foray said in the original. If you just organize, you can't let it get this bad. You have to remain logical. You got to remain rational. It's that or the end. He said it all right there, man.
100%. 100%.
Bringing it down on a soft note.
Just reach out and find your folks.
It's fine. No, it's. I think it's so crazy to me that something from '78 still stands up as being so oh my God, this is still ringing true. This still has the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's so cool that something like this can still hang on and be so relevant and worthwhile to watch and listen to. So I think it's just it's really cool.
100%. We love Romero.
We do.
We do
Check
love
out
Romero.
Queens of the Dead.
Yes.
You all watched that, right? That was another fun one.
I did not watch Queen of the Dead.
Shame. All right, we're gonna shame Claudio.
Whoa.
That'll be it for us at the podcast downstairs.
It's on Shudder.
Can I give one quick smooch?
Go ahead, make your smooches.
Galen Ross is in Queen of the Dead.
Really?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh.
But not as a big role in it.
Oh, just but that's really cool.
She has a cameo in it, so I'm that's really cool. Fran.
Okay.
Fran
we'll end on a high note then. Yeah, Fran's back, baby.
And I'm
circle.
oh, that's so rad. Bless up.
Well, that'll about do it for us at the podcast downstairs. We hope that you had as much fun as we did. You can catch up on previous episodes on our YouTube and wherever you get your podcast from. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and tell us all of your hot takes and which Zack Snyder movies you like and hate. We'd love to hear your thoughts on things. We also want to thank our producer and tech wizard, Dawn, as well as Not Great Entertainment for helping us set up the pod. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, stay out of the basement.